Hello everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we are going to talk about how to deal with performance anxiety. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where the goal, of course, is to help you all take your magic to the next level. My name is Michael O'Brien, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about how to deal with performance anxiety, how to overcome stage fright. Oftentimes when we're going out to perform, we get those butterflies in our stomach and our palms get sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on our sweater already, mom's spaghetti, the whole thing, right? So how can we deal with that? Can we make it go away? Can we at least minimize that? I have 3 tips for you guys on how to do that. But before we get into that, just a couple of announcements. Number 1, if you haven't already done so, you guys know the drill. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any content coming out in the future, especially if you are enjoying these Advice for Magicians videos. Also, you can become a member by clicking the join button. For just $1 a month, you'll get access to a ton of members only content, including tutorials. There's like 38 tutorials on this channel now. Early access videos, badges, emojis, a bunch of fun stuff. And I'll even shout your name out right here in one of these videos, just like this. Let's go ahead and welcome our newest members. We have Piet's 8 Ball Robert, that's a really cool name, and Roast Chicken. Awesome, fun names this week, guys. Hey, thank you so much for joining and becoming members. It really means a lot that you're helping to support this channel and keep it going. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about stage fright now. So what can we do about it? Like I said, I have 3 tips for you, okay? So tip number 1 is very simple, and that is to make sure that the material you are going to perform is material that you are comfortable with. You don't want to go out and be beta testing new material that you haven't really practiced that much, that you haven't had an opportunity to show anybody. I always recommend showing new material to people that you are already comfortable with before you going out into the real world and performing it for absolute strangers, right? And the definite last thing that you want to do is beta test or field test, unrehearsed material for a paying audience. That's the last thing that you want to do. So do your best to work in the material that you know that you are going to be comfortable performing and perform that material. That's going to be 95% of your nerves right away. And the reason for this is because if you're performing material that you haven't rehearsed, you are forced to put yourself on the spot to focus more heavily on the pattern that you're going to use. You're focusing on the technique because you haven't practiced it that much, maybe. You're trying to remember the order that you have to do everything in so that you don't miss a beat. And all of these things are going to make you more nervous, and you're not going to really be able to just relax and just perform and just be yourself because you're focusing on all these other little things. So that's my advice for that. Just make sure that, like I said, the thing that you're going to perform is something that you are comfortable performing. Advice piece number 2 is to try to mentally psych yourself in, not psych yourself out, whatever the term is that I'm looking for. You want to get into the zone. It could be as easy as just going to the restroom, washing your hands, washing your face, looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself, you're going to crush it. You're going to do a good job. And I say this out loud too, to myself in the mirror. If it's at a public restroom, hopefully there's no one in the urinal or in the stall over there, laughing at me for, who's this crazy guy talking to himself saying you're going to crush it. He probably thinks I'm trying to work up the courage to talk to some girl or something. But that's another thing that you can do is you can mentally prepare yourself. It can be in your car before you walk into the venue, whatever little ritual you can come up with that is going to calm you down. I don't always encourage this, but if you maybe are able to relax by having a drink, maybe grab a beer before you go out there, especially if you're performing at something kind of loose, like a strolling kind of thing or like a walk around. What I'll usually do is I'll actually grab a glass of like whiskey or something and have that with me as I'm mingling with everybody, and I can sip it throughout the night. And I tend to nurse it. You don't want to get drunk, obviously. The last thing you want to do is get sloppy while you're performing. But just having that little something to sip on, and even having that object in my hand to hold, it helps to relieve a little bit of the stress, because I feel like I'm blending in. You know, I can walk around with the glass and, hey, my name is Michael, how you guys doing, and introduce myself and all of that stuff. So thing number 2 is come up with some ritual that you can use that's going to help you to kind of get in the zone and to help you relax. And David Stone has a really good idea. He says what he likes to do is do like 20 push-ups before he goes out there, because it gets all of the adrenaline out. Because a lot of times what the nerves is it's adrenaline. It's your fight or flight response telling yourself like, I don't know what's going to happen, so you need to get ready just in case that bear tries to get you, right? So that's all it is. So find whatever that ritual is that you can do that's going to help you to get into the zone. And the third thing that's going to help you overcome stage fright is this. And it, again, very simple, and it is just do it. Just start performing, right? This is something that I like to refer to as the diving board effect. Whenever you're going to go get into a pool, there's usually 2 ways that people will get into the pool. The first way is they'll walk up to the pool, and then they'll dip their toe in the pool, and they'll go like, oh, it's kind of cold. And then they'll dip their foot in the pool, and they'll be like, oh, it's even colder. And then they'll put both feet in the pool, and then maybe they might psych themselves out and not want to get into the pool because they realize how cold it is, right? So that's the first way to get into the pool. The second way to get into the pool is to just walk over to the diving board and just dive in head first. Get that initial shock out of the way, and then once you're in the pool, you're fine because your body's used to it. So that's the analogy that I like to use when it comes to performing, right? If you're walking around the edge of the tables or on the outside of the perimeter that you're going to be doing your strolling event, or if you're just kind of peeking behind the curtain and you're like super nervous to go out in front of this big old audience of people, doing that whole looking out there and wandering around and trying to find the perfect first person to approach and all that, all this is going to do is make you more nervous and psych you out even further. You know, not getting into the pool because you're worried about how cold the water is. So instead, what I do is whoever the first person is that's closest to me, I'll just say, hi, my name is Michael. I'm here for this event. I'm a professional magician, and I was wondering if you wanted to be kind of my warm-up act, my first act of the night, because I haven't gotten to perform for anybody yet. Would you mind to help me? And then they're usually more than happy to do so, and excited because they get to be like the first person out of all of these people at this event that get to see your magic and get to see you perform. I perform for that person, and they love it and shake hands and, oh, that was so great and all that stuff. And now I've gotten into it. I've started performing. I've got that rhythm going, and now I just got to keep that rhythm going throughout the night. Next thing you know, your 2 hours is done, and you've already walked around and you've performed 30 different tricks, for this group of people at this event, and you're like, oof, time flew by quick. That was actually pretty fun, and there was your night. Same thing if you're going to go out and perform on stage. You break the curtain, you walk out there, you introduce yourself, and you just jump into your routine. Don't tiptoe around it, because then again, the longer you put it off, the more stressed out you're going to get, and that's when you're going to start focusing, like I said, on the technique and the order that everything has to be in and all that stuff, because you're getting nervous because you're like prolonging it. If you just jump out there and start doing it, it'll make it a lot easier for yourself. So try to combine these 3 things together, right? What was the first thing again? Do you remember? Do I remember? The first thing is to make sure that you are prepared with the material that you're going to perform. Don't perform anything high risk. Perform only stuff that you're comfortable with. The second thing, do you remember that one? The second one is to make sure that you have some kind of ritual that you can perform before you go out there to start performing, that you can psych yourself out, or not psych yourself out, psych yourself in, pump yourself up, get yourself in the zone, whatever that thing may be. And then number 3, remember that one? Just talked about it. That is to just dive in head first and to just do it. Don't hesitate. Don't overthink it. Don't look for that perfect first person to find. Just find whoever's closest to you. Ask them if they can be your first, guest of the evening. Perform for them, and it'll set the tone for the rest of the evening. I hope that this was sort of helpful for you guys. I did this video like a really long time ago, but I've gotten so many requests for this, like what can I do to overcome nerves and stuff, that I thought that I'd make a fresh video on it and talk about some of my newer perspectives on this whole overcoming stage fright thing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you all next time with more advice for magicians. Take care.